Welcome to Doing Time with Joe. It's your host, Joe Baker, back again with another great episode. But before I get started, I want to thank everybody out there for the support. It really means a lot to me. But let's jump right into the episode today. I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of people ask me in here is what can a convicted citizen do to deter crime, right? For some reason, the people that I'm around in here, a lot of them anyway, they believe that there's not anything that they can do to deter crime. They feel like that their voices won't be heard, nobody's listening, nobody's watching, nobody's paying attention to them. I try to encourage them all the time to make sure they understand that that's not true. But here's one of the things that I tell them also that they can do, and I hope that family members of the incarcerated out there are listening, and other individuals that were formerly incarcerated out there, I hope you're listening as well, so you can take this and maybe apply this to your life if it's relevant. If it's not, pass it on, keep it moving, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, this is one of the things that I say that anybody that has ever been convicted of a felony in prison or out of prison can do to deter crime. Now, hold on now. I want y'all to make sure you understand what I'm about to say here, so don't shoot my head off because you don't understand initially what I'm talking about. But what I'm about to say is real. Admit your faults. Own it. Own it. And what do I mean by that? You know if you're lazy. Don't nobody have to tell you that you're lazy. You know if you got an anger problem. You know if you don't want to work for anybody, you want to work for yourself. You know who the real such and such, whoever you are, whatever your name is, but like me, I know who the real Joe Baker is. I know that. I may not tell you that, but I know my insecurities, I know my shortcomings, I know what I like, I know what I don't like. But before I was, let me put it this way, before I came into the awareness of myself, I used to fool myself too and not own my faults, not own those things about myself that I really didn't like. So I would masquerade and pretend that I didn't have an issue with my self-esteem or that I didn't have an issue with my self-worth. I would pretend that I was fine. I would pretend that I was confident. All that did was make me get further and further behind in becoming and stepping into the person that I am today, because I never owned it. I never addressed it. I never dealt with it. So if you're one of those individuals that is lazy, don't want to work, own that. Work on that so you can eventually step into the person that you are intended to be. If you're one of those individuals that has low self-esteem and you end up in a situation where you abuse your mate, you know what I'm saying, beating on your woman, things like that, own it. Don't nobody have to tell you that you got an anger problem. You know you do. The question is, why do you not want to deal with that? Where's that insecurity coming from? Be curious about those things about yourself that are holding you back. Because once you start to express that curiosity about those things, then you'll start to figure out things that you can do to work on it and become that person that you're intended to be. But until you own those faults, look in that mirror and tell yourself, I know this about myself. I don't need a counselor to tell me this. I don't need such and such to tell me that. Now, don't get it twisted. I believe a counselor, therapist, they can help you. They can help you with that, because sometimes you need somebody to help you get to that point where you can talk about it and talk about the pain attached to it. You know what I mean? But you know what's wrong with you. Now, sometimes you may not. Some people may not. But in most cases, you know what's wrong with you. You may not. You might be like me. At one time, I didn't know what to call it. I didn't know what was going on with me. But you know the behavior. You know what it is that ticks you off. You know your triggers and so on and so forth. If you just slow down and think about it, you know what sets you off. You know what makes you want to do A, B, or C. But if you think about it, sit down and think about it, and then develop a plan so that you can start to work on it. And if that includes getting help for it, get help. But be real with yourself. And why do I say that can help deter crime? Because you'll be one less person that believes that crime is an option. And in that, you are deterring crime. Now, in addition, you won't be passing on that corrupt, evil ideology to those individuals that look up to you, that are around you. You will become that beacon of light that people can look to and say, well, if he could come out from under what he was into, I can come out from up under what I was into. So in that, it's about modeling the right behavior. And in that, you deter crime. You understand what I'm saying? So own those things about yourself that you know don't make the cut, not up to par. Because once you do that, then you'll be able to eventually step into the person that you're supposed to be. And it may be a lot of issues. It may not be just one thing. Maybe a lot of things going on with you. And it's never too late to start. It's never too early to start. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Because if you don't start to do those types of things, you're going to always delay your blessings. You're going to delay them because they're right there at the doorstep waiting on you to get in line with the Most High. And once you do that, you'll be just fine. Don't be afraid. Trust me, I get fear. It makes you curious about, what's around the corner. We can't see around the corner. If we could see the future, I know a lot of y'all out there will be trying to figure out what the Powerball number is as opposed to trying to figure out those things about yourself that you need to work on. But I'm encouraging you to look and see and work on those things about yourself that can make you a better person. That's what you need to be focusing on. And in doing that, you can become one of those individuals that can and will deter crime. Okay? Now, I know this was a short one right here, but I'm going to keep it short. I just wanted to drop that on y'all so you can understand what's really going on. And anytime that I am asked a question like that, I might come back and drop a quick episode like this so other people out there, the people that are listening to the show and the loved ones that got loved ones incarcerated, they can get this too. I just didn't want to experience this interaction that I had with these brothers in here and not pass that on. So, I wanted to make sure that I got on the mic and let everybody hear what this was all about. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.